Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here at the Scotts Grand, 5060 Dorchester Road in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, hey, this is the time when you want to write stuff and you want to have a passion for people. Avale has a heart for people. She loves to write and she loves making a difference in people's lives. I have with me the author and motivational speaker, and she has a lot of things she's done in life. Miss Geri Mason, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you giving some time to us because we want people to know more about you. I got a couple books here that she has written. The first one, No More Tears, The Price of Joy, Letters to My Daughter. And the one that we're going to talk more about is Life Always Has a Bigger Purpose, Reframing Your Picture. True life stories of turning negatives into positives. Wow. You are very busy. And the question, people want to know more about you, and we want to make people to know more about what you're doing. How long have you been writing for right now currently?
I've been writing since 1998.
Okay.
I write an article, a column, a monthly column for a newspaper in Virginia because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
And so thanks to the, the power of the internet and everything, I'm able to keep that article going every month. And I didn't even realize I was a writer until I was interviewed for another newspaper, and they put me on the cover, and I had to tell my story. And when I told my story, the guy said, "Oh, you wrote a beautiful article about yourself. You should be a writer." And so I heard it, and I stepped out on faith and did it.
Hey, walk by faith, not by sight. Well, let the people know more about your story so they get to know you, the writer, the motivational speaker, the love for the people.
Oh, okay. First and foremost, the thing that triggered me becoming a motivational speaker and a writer is I am a 30-year breast cancer survivor. And after surviving breast cancer, I immediately kind of got a new attitude and a new life and a new outlook on life, and I started telling my story to other people. And when I started telling my story to a few people, little did I know that 30 years later it would become a personal testimony. 30 years of a personal testimony, and not just telling that story. It's like everything that happens in my life since the beginning of being diagnosed with breast cancer, I've kind of like kept a running video in the back of my head, and I just update it every time I give a speech. I start with the breast cancer, and then I move on to other ways that God has blessed me in my life. And because of that, and because of the articles that I wrote, that's how I came up with the book, Reframing Your Picture. Because I have this tendency to always look at every situation in life that is negative from my viewpoint. I try to reframe it in a bigger picture and try to look on the outside of the frame and see what the mission is, see what the message is, and find the positive. And I write about that. So all of my stories that I write are stories about my personal life. I don't give enough details for you to know exactly what happened to me, but it's enough for you to put yourself in my situation and be inspired and encouraged because of what you read in my book and how I handle the situation.
Wow. Well, you look glowing and you look very happy about life. And when I first met you, I never would have thought you went those kind of circumstances, the way you approach life. And I think people that are watching right now, you got to be positive. You know, when a negative situation, turn around, reframing the picture. Wow, looking at it from another mind, pretty from God's eyes.
Yes, from God's eyes, and why people come into your life. And a lot of times what you go through is not necessarily for you. You are going through something so that when you meet somebody down the road, you can share that testimony with them because of what they're going through, and you can inspire them. And I've met so many people. I've had people say, "I'm going back to school because of what you went through," because I was a high school dropout. I was a pregnant teenager and a single mom. So all of those testimonies make a difference when you meet people. And that's what I try to do, encourage people through my writing and my speaking.
Wow. So at this time, we know that for yourself that you are a single mother who's raised a great child. You've turned negatives into positives, and you love life. And that 30-year experience now, it seems like long time ago.
Seems like yesterday. Well, it may seem like it seems like a long time ago, but it's still so vivid in my mind that it seems like yesterday, and I still capitalize on it, and it gives me the strength to keep moving forward. That's what I mean when I say it seems like yesterday.
Sure.
But in essence, it has been a long time.
Wow. Hey, you never would have known it. I think that you are an epitome of what life should be. You love life, you love people, and you just want to share your testimony. That's how you're supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to have a testimony of how your life has been changed, transformed, renewed, and my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
And so, reframing your picture, true life stories of turning negatives into positives. What led you to write this book here? Is that more of what you experienced?
Well, that book right there is like a compilation of my favorite articles that I wrote for the newspaper in Virginia.
Okay.
Because when I meet people, they tell me that they keep the articles on their wall at their office for inspiration. I went to one lady's house and she had a whole file drawer of all the articles that I had written. She'd cut them out and kept them by dates and months and years. And I was just amazed. And somebody said, why don't you write a book of the stories? That way you can share it with people who may have missed some of your articles. So that's what I did, and that was just written in 2014, April of last year.
Wow.
So.
Okay. So I know that you are a successful writer, successful motivational speaker. So who inspired you to be who you are today?
It's a combination of my brothers and sister. My biggest inspiration is my nephew. He's the one who got me here in Charleston, South Carolina. Oh my gosh, at a time when I was really down on my luck and I was homeless and I didn't have any place to go and I was out of work, and I just picked up the phone and called him and asked him could I come down here, and I told him I would do due diligence and effortlessly seek a job, and I guaranteed him that I would have something lined up for myself by the time I got here. And he said, do what you have to do and come on. And I told him I'd be here in 2 weeks. So a lot of who I am as of this very moment is because of my nephew that took me in at a low point in my life. But who I am as a serious human being in life has a lot to do with my faith and my relationship with God, because that's the strongest thing that keeps me going in a time of doubt.
Wow. And now I see where it all comes together. The testimony that you just gave, nobody would never know unless you've given it. And you can tell that God is really using you in such a way that the shocking thing was it wasn't your child that took you in, your nephew took you in.
My nephew, yeah.
And those speak volumes of the kind of person you are. And my hat's off to you. Her information is on the screen right now. To get in contact with her, I highly recommend her to come to your event, to come to your church, because we want to have encouragement. And we've had some people on this show that love to give what God has done for their lives. So we definitely want to see that glowing spirit about yourself to continue to flow throughout the United States and throughout the world. Now, I know that your time is very valuable, and we want people to definitely contact you. Where do you see yourself now in the next, say, 3 to 5 years? Where do you envision where you would like to be?
I'm a deep planner, and I have goals set up for next year and the next 5 years that are coming. And to answer that question, where do I see myself in the next 2 to 5 years? Look, I hope my employer don't get offended, but they probably won't, because I do home care, so you can pick and choose what job you want. But in 2 years, I plan to retire. I'm not waiting to 65. I'm retiring at 62. Just told my age. I'm retiring at 62, and my vision for myself is to speak and travel anywhere somebody want me to go. I feel like no venue is too small and no distance is too far. We can negotiate how I get there, but no venue is too small and no distance is too far, because I honestly believe that God has chosen me to tell my story everywhere that I get an opportunity to. And also, on another note, I have history of pain, and the only time that I'm not in pain is when I'm writing and when I'm speaking. This is my passion. So I know God is preparing me to do what brings no pain to my life. And I'm just looking forward to it.
Hey, that's what it is. Sums up in a nutshell. This lady is on passion, fire for the Lord, and we definitely support her here at the Logan Power Show. If you have any questions that you need to have answered, the information is on the screen, how to get in contact with her. Go on our page, the Logan Power Show. Text us 843-697-5545. Email us at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. You don't want to miss out this opportunity to get yourself some answers. So, hey, I really appreciate you coming on to the show.
Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure being here.
Oh, we appreciate you.
Thank you
so much. I tell you, I am floored. I'm living on the highest life if possible. Hey, that's all the time I got. My name is Calvin Lowe with the Logan Power Show. I highly recommend getting this book, Reframing Your Picture. Telling you right now, get the information on the screen, how to get in contact with her, and we know this will be one of your best years. Hey, it's all the time we got. Have a great day. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next week. Thanks for the best part of the Logan Power Show. My name is Calvin Logan, and we are signing off.